What's up everyone? Welcome back to Go-kart build video number 8, and in this video I'm going to kind of just catch you guys up on with what's been going on with the go-kart. But before I do that, I just kind of want to apologize for not putting out a video in a few weeks in terms of the actual go-kart build. I've just been so tied up with school and all these tests and quizzes and homework and projects, and I know I use that excuse a lot, but it's really just the hard truth and reality of things when you're in college and studying engineering. You know, you don't get a lot of time for side projects, even though this is way more fun because a lot of your time just gets sucked up into doing, what you need to do to get an A or B or whatever past the class. But anyways, enough of that. In this video, I kind of just want to catch you guys up on with the work I've done off camera. Now, most of the work I've done off camera has just been, more welding, and you guys have gotten plenty of welding videos in the past videos of the go-kart build, so I didn't want to bore you guys with just more welding, and that kind of just allowed me to just kind of go and get things done, because with filming I set up different things and set up shots and stuff, but I kind of just want to, like I said, just catch you guys up and then maybe tell you guys my future plans and what steps I'm going to be taking next to be building the go-kart. And I really do enjoy filming the fabrication videos, so when I do start doing the really interesting stuff, that's why I'm going to start doing the fabrication videos rather than just like an update video. So I'm hoping that that will be the next video to come out, is like an actual fabrication video of what I will be constructing. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and grab all the parts and show you guys what I've got. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you guys is probably the most exciting thing and one of the biggest accomplishments that I have gotten done with the go-kart so far. So, as you know from the previous videos, I actually finished tack welding the frame myself, and after that I actually sent the frame off to the welding shop to get all the welds strengthened and just kind of put a finishing touch on all the welds so they're really strong and they're not going to break under tension and pressure. But I'm really stoked because this is a huge step in getting this go-kart build done. I took it to the welding shop. It took about 2 weeks for them to finish it because they had other things to do, and I mean, I was cool with it because I didn't really have much work to do on it at the moment because I had other things like the suspension arms I needed to fabricate on the drill press. So like I said, it took about 2 weeks and a total of about 2 hours worth of labor. And it was really great because they cut me a great deal. 2 hours at $60 an hour, so that was $120 for all this welding, and this was a lot of welding. They welded top, bottom, side, so it was definitely a lot of welding. The only thing I just have to do is some of the welds are pretty raised up, so just from the nature of the weld, and so I'm gonna have to just take the angle grinder and grind them down on any sections that I need to be flush. So example, one section is back here. This, I'm going to have to weld a tube coming straight up for the cage for the for the engine to sit on, and same with here. So I'm going to have to get these ground down and pretty flush and flat for the vertical piece of tubing to sit on at a nice angle. So that'll probably be in the future videos of me grinding down the angles, or grinding down the welds to get good angles on other pieces. But I think that's about it for the frame. I'll just take the camera off the tripod and kind of show you guys close up with some of these nicer welds. So as you guys can see, these welds are really thick. They're going to be really strong, and the only thing is they're just a little bit raised up just because that's kind of the nature of the weld. But I'm really stoked because the frame is truly coming together. These guys did an excellent job, very friendly. Normally they don't do stuff like this at their welding shop. They're mainly a muffler shop and they do exhaust systems and muffler stuff, and I'm just really thankful that they took this project on for me and actually helped me weld all this, because I just wanted to make sure that the frame stayed strong. Even though I am getting better at welding, I'm not there enough where I felt comfortable that my welds would hold under high tension and pressure while driving this thing. So that's probably it for the frame. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next parts of the things I have finished off camera. Alright, so next up on the parts that I have done and finished so far are the rear suspension arms. So I don't know if you guys can remember from the AutoCAD and SolidWorks design, but this is the rear suspension arm, and basically it's just 4 pieces welded together in kind of like a rectangular shape. And it wasn't too hard to weld. I just had to make sure that. Really tough part about these though is, you know, you can see these holes, and these holes are going to be where tubing goes through to connect to allow the suspension arm to pivot. And this has to be like literally almost dead on, because you know the tubing has to go through and be straight so the axle can connect, or not the axle, the suspension arm can connect properly and pivot properly. Now these holes are for the tubing to go through to pivot the arm, but then these holes are actually bolting on the bearing, the pillow block bearing that I have. Just because that's how I kind of designed it with this, you know, rear independent suspension. I needed two bearings on the inside part of the frame where the sprocket and brake is going to be attached to. That's kind of like the dead axle, or you know, I don't really understand the live axle versus dead axle, but in my eyes that's a dead axle because it doesn't move, it's just straight. But on the suspension arms we're going to have a bearing that's mounted just like this on the very end, and this piece of tubing, there's going to be three pieces of metal for the axle. So there's going to be the middle part, and then there's going to be the U-joint right here, and then this is going to connect and go through here and then have the tire right here. So this will allow the suspension arm to pivot with the U-joint. So I'm pretty stoked to get these done. The next step with these is to cut the tubing that's going to be welded into place here, and then cut all the tubing for the little tabs that come off the suspension arms. And then after that I'll weld the tabs onto the frame and feed the bolt through, and then hopefully we'll have a nice pivoting suspension arm. So that's about it for the rear suspension arm. I'm going to go ahead and get the other pieces and show you guys those. Alright, so the next piece I have up that I actually just finished fabricating last night and welding together are the front suspension arms. Now the front suspension arms are a little bit different than the rear ones, as they have a little, they're still the main, you know, rectangular shape here with the 4 pieces, but then they have an extra 5th piece because this is the part where the actual spindle C-clamp, not C-clamp, but C-bracket is going to be mounted on. So if you have the suspension arm like this, this is actually a C-bracket that I got with all my spindles. So this just needs to be welded on like that, and then that's where the that's how the front wheels are going to pivot with the spindle. And then, you know, I got all my stuff to make it pivot and stuff like that, and then I'll have to order some tie rods and things like that, but that's farther down the line. But pretty simple design, you know, like I said. And then like with the rear suspension arms, the same challenge was lining up these holes properly, because it's the same kind of idea for the pivoting part of this. And I think it's either this one or this one, the holes are just a tad bit off. I'm gonna have to remount one of them just a slight bit, because when I fed the you know what, rather than telling you, I'll just show you guys. So this right here is what is it? It's 3/4 inch inside diameter by 1/2 inch outside diameter, and basically I just drilled out 1/2 inch holes in these suspension arms, and then this is going to be actually fed through like that, and this is going to get welded. And then since I have an inside diameter of, what did I say, 5/8? No, yeah, this would be 5/8. The outside diameter would be the inside diameter would be 3/8. The outside diameter is 1/2. So basically, once I weld this and get this kind of, you know, cut to size, I'm just going to get a bunch of 3/8 inch bolts, and just that's going to be the pivoting point for this go-kart. Sorry if I'm talking fast, my camera's going to die, so I'm trying to get what I want to say done before the camera dies. So basically that's what the next plan is to cut all this and then get those tabs mounted up, and then we'll have a pivoting system, and then from there I will see how I need to cut the rear axle. So basically I'm going to get some wooden dowel rod, and then kind of use that as a testing point to see, you know, what lengths of each piece of axle I need to use in order to have the suspension arms pivot properly. But anyways, I think that's about it for this update video. I hope to include some more fabrication because that's kind of like the interesting stuff in the next video, and that's what my plan is. So thank you all for watching. Again, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe because a lot of awesome videos are to come.